Welcome back to another episode of Shifted Reality Season 2. This will be episode 13. And here's a fun little trivia. 1 year ago, I said I was going to make Shifted Reality Season 1. And we kept that promise, and we continued it all the way through and are now on Season 2. This episode is going to go live 1 week before the anniversary of the first episode of Shifted Reality. And could you help us out? Because at the time of this recording, we are currently at 192 subscribers, and I think it'd be really great if we could beat 200 before our 1 year anniversary. Oh man, this is going to be a tight squeeze, but can we get 8 more subscribers in the next week? I sure hope so. Like my new hat? After the last episode, I had to do some more fishing in order to get a new mending book for the Fisherman's Market. And in the process, I got enough magic books. I'm like, you know what? I should get my hat because I spend enough time in the water that having respiration, aqua affinity, as well as the extra 10 seconds of water breathing the turtle helmet gives you, really can kind of help out. And I think it looks pretty good. Now, the last episode, I put in these stairs to get up and down from the docks. And the thing is, since each of the docks have a different length, each of the arches came out just a little bit different width. And I've only put in a few of these entrances, just kind of at the far points. And with each of the arches being a slightly different width, that meant the stairs that were connected to them were also all slightly different. So you see this one is pretty narrow at only 2. This one's coming a bit more square at 3, but also kind of juts right up against the edge here. And this one here is also 3, but doesn't have that double width on the edge. So I need to come up with a design of how I'm going to top these off that will be a little bit more modular and able to be adjusted based on the terrain and everything else, because there's a good chance we'll end up with another one of these bridge staircases over on this side at some point in the near future. And we were also discussing about maybe removing these trees and our bamboo and move them over to that side of the river just to make this more usable real estate. So I'm going to run over to my mine and get the blocks I need. I gotta get better at flying in third person. So I'm just going to head over to the mines and get the blocks I need because I am going to build this out of tuff. I've been thinking about what I want to put to top off these stairs to make the structure look more complete. And I decided what I really want is some watchtowers. And since most of the ground base is fairly uniform gray, I want something that will really stand out in contrast. So I decided we're going to go up here with deep slate and tuff and build up a little bit of a watchtower to keep an eye on the harbor. Now I'm approaching this how I usually do, where I look at it, consider the overall frame and general design I want, and I start thinking about features that I want to include into the final outcome. So here we have the platform that is going to be supporting our upper levels, and right now I'm kind of digging the open look vibe, but I am probably going to close this off. Don't want that there. Now I am going to put in some tough stairs along this upper outer wall. And I have 2 kind of vision ideas on how I want this or why I want this. And I'm not really sure if it's going to work just yet, but we are experimenting. The idea is if someone's standing up here on the top defensive layer of the build, I want them to have a viewport where they can shoot through and down a hole in order to attack any oncoming enemies, but also at the same time to kind of represent how a structure like this would need a spot for rain runoff. So I need to create a gap right here that is still going to be visible for anybody to be looking out and seeing this downward sloping spot here. Oh, time to sleep again. You know, I know how some SMPs will use command blocks to lengthen the day from the standard vanilla 20 minutes to like a 40-minute day. Do you think that's still vanilla? I'm not really convinced on that. I don't know, any command that changes the playstyle of the game feels a little bit like a cheat at times. Like, oh, I don't want to have it to be night all the time so I can build longer periods, but it's like, well, no, I mean, being stuck with your limited time is part of the game, right? I don't know. Leave your comments down below. How does that look? It gives you a little bit of a ability to look around, see the different angles, easily shootable through it. And from the lower level, it looks fully encased and closed in. There we go. I think that stands out pretty nicely compared to the wall below it. It looks a little dark, a little menacing. I rather like the idea of using dark oak trapdoors as the windows instead of glass panes on the first level. Kind of makes it look a little bit more defensible, like, you know, something that needs to be broken through rather than just smashed like glass. The downside is the way that I was kind of limited in my space. I didn't have an easy way of making it so that you can go up and down without using elytra or scaffolding. And if you know me at all, that's something I tend to try to avoid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put on some ladders on this side just to allow someone to come up and climb up there if they want to check it out. And finally, just to give it that sense of life I like to have in my builds, we put a little villager up on top to be keeping watch. I don't know if his villager pathfinding brain will keep him up there or if he'll eventually fall off the edge. So we'll just see about that and decide if we're going to go with other villagers in the other watchtowers based on whether or not he actually stays up there. So we'll see. There's actually a workstation and a bed up there. I figure eventually he should bond to it, but, you know, right now he's bound to a random barrel, probably one of the ones used in the ship, but we'll see what he does. So I noticed something strange as I was coming back here to get ready for my next build. Oh, wait, what was that? Do they have a dog around here somewhere? What happened to my dog? I was just coming up to talk about this. Apparently Tyler broke a window when he was wandering by and replaced it with a diamond ore block. That's one expensive broken window there, Tyler. I think I'm going to leave this here until either I have Silk Touch or Fortune to remove it. Or maybe it'll just stay there for the entire season and just be like, hey, here's a funny thing. What about the dog? I swear I had one right here. Hi, puppy. What you doing down there? Come on, teleport me. There we go. Okay, so that's one of my missing dogs. Where's the other two? You had another one around here somewhere. are you? I mean, he was around some cobblestone, so I don't think... Wait, I heard over here. Oh my goodness. Is that you barking or the dog that was around here? Hi, puppy. Come on out. Alright, so I'm pretty sure this was Wasay because... Hello. Yeah, no, I should probably heal him, but whatever. So anyway, I was over here trying to collect honey and repopulate my bees because some of them had died. I mean, because sometimes when you have exposed campfires underneath your hives, sometimes they fly through the fire and over time they die. So I was in the middle of repopulating these guys when Wasay was up in the tree and he tried to fish hook and pull them away, which of course made them angry, which of course made them stab him. And then all of a sudden I was down to only one bee. Well, he came back and tried to make it up to me by bringing me another hive to replace it, but that hive itself only had one bee in it. Yeah, so I've got them bred up. I think I have 2 to 3 bees in each of these hives now. But I think we still need to get back at Wasay because he's probably the one who hid the dogs. Comment below with how you think we should react to Wasay's little pet stealing issues. And should I just kill him or should we get him back with a prank? Looks like our tunnels are getting an upgrade. Wasay came through and repacked the entire tunnels with some packed ice. Should maybe get a boat in here and start cruising around a little faster. I wonder if we got it all the way that way to red space. Or even to our calcite mine. I've ran past this a couple times without ever really addressing it. And if you look at it from above, you can kind of see that it's like a mini recreation of Spec Space, where she is trying to collect one of everything. And I noticed in her book here, it says she will take a poisonous potato for 5 diamonds. Whew. That is quite the deal there, so yeah. 1 poisonous potato, 5 diamonds. I'll make that trade. There's a few others I should be able to get in the near future, like the globe lantern should be one I can get off of the cartographer that's in the pink boat. So we'll come back from... Oh, I forgot to check my shops while I was here, see if there's anything that needs restocking or if there's anything that I might want to get. Well, it's looking like the money train is starting to dry up on the shops. People have their villagers gain their magic books from now. Maybe even equipment isn't being lost as often, but that's okay. Well, he hasn't gotten to all of the nether tunnels yet, but yeah. It's a start, work in progress. Alright, enough distractions. Let's get back to our watchtowers. And I'm going to do this one next because it is going to be the most different from the first one we put up. So, let's go. Wow, I really know how to cut it close. Out of all the tuft I grabbed and collected for this project, I have exactly 3 blocks left. Oof. Alright. So the one that's only 2 wide, I don't think I'll ever put a villager on top. I mean, obviously a player can still climb up and down if they like, but there's just not really enough room up there to give villagers time to move about. However, this one over here on this side, which is 4 blocks wide, I probably will. There's at least a much better chance that I will put a villager up into here. And that's just because, generally speaking, over there at the 3 wide building, it does seem like the villager's staying put and isn't falling off or pathfinding off at least. So that is a bonus in that direction. Otherwise, so far, this guy hasn't fully locked on to the workstation I put up here for him. And I don't think I've ever seen him sleep in the bed either. And I actually don't mind that because that means every once in a while he changes profession. And so if you don't know better, down here it kind of looks like, different villagers are going up there and swapping out on guard duty to keep watch. So that's kind of a neat aspect. But we'll go ahead and give him a few more days, make sure he doesn't die some typical villager death. And if he stays up there, then we'll probably move someone up over into that one. And now that we have our guard towers up, it seems like it's a good time to finally hoist a national flag for our base. So let's get going. I found this on Planet Minecraft. It's called Frostguard and was published by Zealot Productions about 2 years ago. So nothing new, nothing fancy. I certainly didn't come up with the design, but it will be nice to use. It's a few easy steps. You start with a white banner and blue. Line across the middle, the X, followed by the lower chevron, and then we swap to blue for the white diamond, and finally the central circle. And there we have it. I like this pattern because I thought it kind of reminded me of the ice mountain that is behind our base that we are maybe eventually going to build up onto, and that we named ourselves after. Also, the radial pattern off the central circle, I thought overall makes it look very unique. Now we're just going to duplicate this a couple times. Oh no, it's not working with, the shield pattern's not working with the animations and stuff pack. Well, that's disappointing. Leave a comment down below. Should we turn off animations and stuff so we can see our shield pattern? Or should we keep animations on and just deal with the fact that we can't do shield patterns apparently? Let me know your opinion. Otherwise, the rest of these patterns are going to be used to be marking out the stairs going up and labeling our base a bit more. And the last two. Now, for the most part, adding up the shield patterns is just a bit more of the lore, establishing a bit more creation with the world and connection to our base. But it is also can be used for other things if the general server absorbs and connects with having the shield banner patterns. And this is what my shield will look like to anybody who is not using the actions and stuff resource texture pack. What do you think? Is it worth it, or should we keep the texture pack and just know that it's there? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you watched this episode this far, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.